Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm gonna play a video clip right here and
Not do it. They have not earned your vote. Don't you give it to them. Why would you go back and vote?
Let's just take a second just to review. That man is urging his fellow Republicans to withhold their votes in the two Georgia Senate races that will decide control of the U.S. Senate.
when they do the history of the 21st century, it'll be like 2000 to 2019, it'll be like maybe one book. 2020 it'll be like 10 volumes of books. And then you have like 2021 to 2030, like, another book, then every decade. But, it's crazy how much stuff is happening in this year. So what you just saw there is in Georgia, the Republican Party is now the party of the division, right? They can't divide the country anymore because Trump lost. Well, Trump lost. So because they can't divide the country anymore, now they're dividing themselves into pro-Trump Republicans and traitors of Trump, I guess. Trump lost the election, but what these guys in Georgia, his Trump supporters, not even Trump supporters, I think Trump supporters are like lemons. They don't really know what's going on. They're very politically unintelligent. They don't understand politics. For some reason, a lot of people I talk to that support Trump, a few are staunch Republicans, lifetime. The parents were, the grandparents were, and they've just followed tradition by voting for this idiot. But a lot of people that vote for Trump or support him, they don't understand how politics work. They think they elect a president. They think, I don't know if they think the president is king, or if I vote for Trump, my life is going to get so much better because Trump is going to give me money. I'm going to, it does not work like that, right? I voted for Biden. I vote Democratic, but I know it doesn't help me at all. Me and my wife, we pay more in taxes a year than most Americans make on salary a year. So voting Democratic is not in any way support our interests in terms of like financial interests. But I know, like I said in my previous videos, if I don't like to live a life where I'm eating and I'm living in a big castle on a hill and all my constituents, my neighbors, my family, outside my household are starving and they can't get jobs, they can't get healthcare, can't get social services. It doesn't work like that. Society isn't built on one person being rich and everyone else being poor, or one person being king of the hill, right? So I would not vote Republican ever. And what they're doing now, sorry to digress, is they're dividing themselves against pro-Trump and anti-Trump. And the pro-Trump people are basically telling I'm going to say pro-Trump politician and pro-Trump, and they're not poor people. These are ex-Trump lawyers. Sidney Powell, I think her name is, and this other guy that looks like Donald Trump. He looks like a midget Donald Trump. They're wealthy people, right? Whether Trump wins or loses, their lives are going to be good, right? Maybe they have criminal activity that might be found out if Trump loses. I don't know. But their life overall will be good and untouched. But the poor, middle class, working class Americans that support Trump, they're in these MAGA crowds and they're looking up for guidance from these leaders, these MAGA leaders that support Trump. And they're telling these voters, don't vote Republican in the Senate runoffs. Don't vote. The vote is a fraud. Trump lost because it's a fraud. So why go out and vote? So they're basically telling people that would vote Republican, and it's a not large crowd, but fairly large crowd. So we see how these MAGA crowds, it might be 1,000 people, but when they vote big, looking at millions of votes, from these crowds of like 100 or 1,000 people. For some reason, it's a million of these people that want to vote Donald Trump, vote Republican. So they're telling those people, don't vote because Trump lost, and these Republican constituents, these politicians that are running for the Senate seats, they don't support Trump's victory. So why go out and vote for them? Why give them your vote? Because they don't support Trump. And I don't know if these people in the crowd think Trump is going to be president for 4 more years or whatever, or they think Trump won. Or they feel, they probably feel jaded that they voted, they went out and vote, and then the person they voted for didn't win. Not only that he didn't win, he refuses to say he didn't win. So he's giving them false information about ballots found on the rocks in the desert in Arizona, and ballots floating down a river, and ballot dumps, and it's just nonsense. And then when you tell these people, his press secretary and these Trump Republicans, where are the ballots? Where's the fraud? Where's this? it's either crickets, or they're like, well, why do you gotta ask that? Why are you asking that? Like, you're being rude to me. Where's the proof, right? The funny thing about Donald Trump is when people accuse him of rape and sexual harassment, the first thing he says, where's the proof? There's no proof. It was 20 years ago. There's no proof. I'm not going to be bothered with that, right? So now he has no proof. Why should we be bothered with you, idiot? Right? Why should we be bothered with your non-proof, having self, right? And I think it's just, no one's paying attention to him. He got that 46-minute thing on Facebook or YouTube or wherever. And I didn't even know it was aired. My wife was watching in the bedroom. And I'm like, what are you watching? Is that live? Is that Donald Trump? She goes, yeah, he's on YouTube or something, or Facebook, giving an almost an hour-long speech about himself, about ballots found in rivers and rocks, on the rocks, in clay, in the sky. People are seeing things. I'm hearing from people. It's always like people that's telling him, or he's seeing people, and people are seeing this, and people are saying, what people, right? Give names, addresses, phone numbers, right? Apparently these elections, the signatures aren't real people, and this Mickey Mouse is voting, and dead people voting, but apparently these Republicans, Trump and Giuliani, they're seeing people saying things about ballots being missing and ballots found on what people, right? And the thing is, I find this with a lot of Republicans. I know they get this from Fox News. I've seen this argument on Fox News, right? And I was watching this last night. I'm going to end it on this. It's Friday. I'm in a good mood. And this idiot, this nonsense with the Trump and trying to stay in the White House, I don't get it. But I'm not going to let that bring you down. But what these people are, right? So they're talking about the election being stolen, right? And I don't know if it's Fox News. It was on YouTube. So they had this guy, right, that said, I don't know. He said, like, dude, where's the proof? Like, who stole the election? Who are these people seeing ballots? What rocks in the desert are they hiding ballots on? Like, come on, a rock in the desert? They went to the desert and put ballots on the rock. And someone saw this. Or someone saw a van with Biden and Harris, taped on the side. And people are in the van with door open, like writing ballots in election night. Big van, the door open, and you can look in and say, oh yeah, that's a Biden-Harris van, and there's Joe Biden. He's driving the van, and Kamala Harris is in there, and they're writing fake ballots. Come on, like, really? We're Looney Tunes territory now. So there's these people seeing all this stuff that's sort of pointing to fraud, voter fraud, on a wide-scale level that would overturn millions of votes, not like a couple of votes, millions of votes, right? They can't find proof of one person, right? If one person voted, whether dead or whether he be Mickey Mouse, whether one person voted twice, they have no proof of a single person. But people see people, and people are saying things. And what people? So this guy is like on the show, YouTube, and I believe it's from a news thing. He's like, well, he's this Republican guy. I think this is one of the Trump guys in the White House. The guy with the weird shaped head and the beard. He's like, well, what people are you guys constantly mentioning that are seeing these things that aren't coming out and saying it? You guys are saying people are saying it, or people are seeing people saying it, but we need to get to those people that are seeing it. So the guy goes, well, why are you asking us for proof? Well, can you prove that it wasn't a fraud? And they always do this, these Republicans, when they argue. And I've been in arguments with my best friend, over the Biden's gonna get rid of the coal and oil industry. So I look at him, I was like, dude, like, you realize oil and coal is not gonna be with us forever. It's a limited resource that's pulled out of the earth. It's not a magical fluid that comes out of, the Netherlands. It doesn't come out of the ether. It's not a magical fluid that's perpetual. It's gonna run out eventually, and when it runs out, when it gets to the point of running out, it'll be so expensive that green energy, electric energy, is going to be the future, because that's the way you support 7 billion, 10 billion people living on a planet that all want to drive nice cars and all want to live in big homes. That's the only way you support 10 billion human beings on this single planet, right? That's so big. It's not life. It's not magic. It's not going to increase in size. The fossil fuel isn't going to come back up. It's going to run out, right? And it's going to get expensive as it runs out. It's not like it will run out. That's a fact. But it will get expensive as it runs out. So do you want to rely on that and burden your economy with something that will become expensive and something that will run out? Or do you want to reshape your economy so that green energy, green technology, electric cars will kind of it won't be abrupt, but it'll gradually replace the fossil fuel industry, right? I know you have buddies down south that maybe work and digging coal and oil and gas, but do you want them doing that forever? Do you want your kids to be digging that 50 years from now? Do you want your grandkids digging that? No, you don't, right? So he was like, well, prove to me that, kind of, he's putting the proof of me, right? I already said it's a fact that oil and gas is not unlimited, it's limited, right? But he wants me to prove that this green energy that I'm touting, or this, he thinks it's socialism too, or this socialism idea of green energy and healthy energy is better for the economy, is gonna like improve and provide jobs. I'm like, the burden of proof isn't on me, dude. The fact is, right, you're sitting on the facts that fossil fuel will run out, right? Well, what do we do when it runs out? Do we just wait till it runs out, then like scramble for ideas, whilst other countries overseas are already, already starting infrastructure to welcome green technology and green buildings and green everything, and we're gonna be like stranded with like the last drop of oil is gonna cost like a trillion times more than the first drop of oil, and do you want to hang on to that last drop and try to figure out what to do with it, or do you want your economy, your society set up for this, right? It's a fact. It's gonna happen. I have nothing to prove to you or anyone else. This is gonna happen when I die, when you die, when we die. It will run out, right? Maybe not tomorrow, but it will. And he wants me to prove that it's gonna help and provide. I'm like, it's not on me, dude. So he's switching it for me to prove something. So on the show, the guy's, well, prove to me that the election wasn't a fraud. And then the guy's like, are you kidding me, really? I have not, the proof isn't on me. Biden won, right? That's a fact, and I don't have to prove the facts, right? But if you're seeing something else that's not the facts, then the burden of proof is on you, right? But Republicans always flip this around, like, say like if this shirt is blue, and I said, oh yeah, my shirt is blue. And then, a Republican says, no, that shirt is green. And I was like, really? Well, like I have this palette, right? I have this palette, and this is blue, right? In the dictionary, this is blue. Hey, that matches, right? That's blue and blue. And they're like, no, it's green. I was like, well, prove to me it's green, right? And they're like, no, well, you prove to me it's blue. And I'm like, well, the burden of proof isn't on me. I'm not saying it's something it's not, right? I'm saying it's blue, it's blue. I don't have to prove that it's blue, You're saying it's something that it's not. So they always flip it around. I think that's hilarious. So the Republican Party, they're divided amongst themselves over what to do with Donald Trump. And he's probably happy for it. He wants to go out with a bang. But he will be remembered in history as a clown, as a joke of a president. And I saw Marco Rubio talking about we're the party of Lincoln and Reagan. I'm like, really? Are you kidding me? Lincoln and Reagan, really? All right, dude. Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right, guys. Have a good weekend. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.